Добрый день, дорогие участники в таком небольшом составе.
Good morning. You probably know about what we refer to as revolution in education, and so lots of different things. Not many think that it's a revolution, but we decided to make a small revolution, and to make a portal, open education, 8 educational institutions and the Ministry of Education supported us naturally. It's not only our decision, and the Laboratory of Innovative and Educational Changes of Moscow Physics Institute of Physics is behind it, and that is why I would like just to talk to you about how it was done from the viewpoint of technology, how we made this revolution, and so no one spoke about that anywhere else earlier. What makes our why it's so different from Coursera, edX, and others? So then we have higher education training course. It's a real training, higher education course. So it's not like Coursera. So kind of mostly it's from the viewpoint of advertising, but it's real, fully fledged training course. And then later it could be regarded as so you can finish your education, and so this, if you take a course in economics or in physics, and then it will be considered as so you'll get a certificate for it, so authorized. And so these are the institutes founders, so the leading universities and colleges, and so here. What we have here, so we have 46 courses, more than 40,000 students, and who study, and it's a big college now. It's a big college, and so 40,000 makes it big. And then we are responsible for the technological platform. So we develop this technology, IT technology in education, just to make it easy. So that's why the architecture and ecosystem, that's the name of the presentation. So then education and architecture. So architecture is always done with limitations, restrictions. And so then it's state colleges, and it's supported, and there's a Ministry of Education and the state support these colleges. And we had some strict limitations, as we call these limitations, because Coursera, edX, so there are Western services, and edX in Crimea, so it was blocked, so very unpleasant story. And because, so this is what we call goes under the banner of imports substitution. And because we cannot use any foreign sources or services, and so we had the choice. So what can we use? If we have to use only Russian services, and what else? So what kind of software we need to use to develop this platform? And so those were our restrictions and limitations and the tasks, but we had our own global task as the Lab of Innovative Technologies, because what we want to raise the level of IT to higher level, and in our education institutions, and inter-college interaction, because each institute is doing in its own juice, and we don't want just to go inside the colleges, but because we want to create this ecosystem, a connected ecosystem. Everyone connects to anyone else, and to create this joint platform, college platform, and then each college will have just to improve its own IT system to a certain level that would be acceptable for the platform, this interagency platform, inter-college platform. And thus, so we want just to raise the level of IT in all colleges, and because it will be a logical implication. And thus, so we want just to develop some kind of an ecosystem. So the platform by itself, so it's an open education platform. The same technologies can be used to build another platform, and we do have some requests to do that. So the platform for Siberian colleges. So there are Siberian colleges quite big, so they have their own interests, specifics, and they go after it as well. So they're quite interesting. And so we are preparing this pilot platform. It's a technological foundation for this unification. So this is the way the architecture looks like, and so in big brush strokes. As I was saying, So we had the challenge to do it quick, because Russian systems that would be good. That so for example that and or capacities, properties, and especially competencies. Unfortunately, so for example we have the system, we give it away, so use it. So we don't have such systems in Russia. No Russian system of the kind. So the only open source solution that actually implements this concept of is Open edX, but it's open source. That's the only one that realizes that concept of open education for everyone. So we took it as a basis, but the idea is to do the replacement, to do the substitution. Certainly we could have taken edX, because edX actually has it all, almost all, but around edX. So it's a foreign resource. So, for example, the training management system. This is edX. And we decided to isolate edX. So around edX we are building different blocks, and trying just to grow our unique functionality in these blocks. So we certainly invest in edX as well, because it's open source, and we want our changes to be at the upstream level as well. And that's when we need that we start to influence the global educational market, because if we have certain developments and we manage just to push it all the way up to upstream, it will be our Russian contribution into the global system of online education. So in blue, this is edX, and the rest is our own doing. And so courses catalog, selection of programs, electronic portfolio, and so now we have only what is left is the training management system. That's where the students study. So we tried to build this architecture in a way to take it out, for example. So if in Russia, so we get another system that would be as good as edX, so we can easily extract it and then build in our system, and the system will be up and running. It's not working that way right now. We have edX, and we have to interact with edX and invest in edX. And so that's what we have now. You can see with ticks, green ticks, what it's up and running. So no payment system yet. So next month, proctoring. Do you know what proctoring is? Proctoring is a special system, technological system, that guarantees the identification, confirmation of the student when the student takes his tests. Sits in for exams. It could be online system, kind of the testing center. So when there are protocols, so identification of a student, so to make sure that it's this student that takes this exam, passes this exam. And it could be an online system, so the student connected to proctoring system, they say, I'm on internet, I'm online, I'm going to sit in for this exam under control. Then the control monitoring can be done by another guy, by a proctor. So we have a pool of proctors. There is a student, so they connect. So then a proctor is assigned to the student. So then the proctor is watching him through a web camera. So then the student should have special software installed. So then there are no additional browsers open, no links, so no one just is connected, and so that there is no one helping him, just punching the buttons and doing the test instead of the student. And so the system, the way it's connected, it controls the student not looking around the monitor or beyond the monitor. So he is sitting with the computer monitoring. So no cram, no cribs. So he cannot just look for sources of information that's not authorized. So no cribs. And so there are two systems like that existing right now. And so there's Examos, and Etmo has its own proctoring system. And now we are trying to connect the system. As in a month's time, this system will be so proctoring will monitor everything in a month's time. In edX, so there isn't interface for proctoring, but it's designed for an American system, for one American system, some kind of an American system. And our standards, the systems are different. We are developing our own middleware, so that will do the interface of index for proctoring. At the same time, it will be connected to our systems and will allow to connect several systems that will be supporting this interface. And this is where we move over to the creation of the ecosystem. of an ecosystem. So with different APIs, interfaces, and we're trying to make them so industry standards, by industry standards, and then bigger standards as well. And if you support those APIs, so you can connect to our system. And so then in serial proctoring systems, so we're going just to run several tests, try to connect to proctoring, and if there are any new systems coming along with the same interface, so please you can connect to our platform. The same goes for the rest of the system. So these are the changes that we have made in the Open EDX. And EDX video is on Amazon or on YouTube. So we keep it on Russian resource. And now just we're trying to do the inter-college CDN. So when they provide their own computing power and storage systems, and so on, the video is stored locally at colleges. And new types of problems and tasks, assignments, new types of assignments, and that EDX didn't have and doesn't have. For example, the Urals Federal University has a virtual, not so much labs, but virtual spaces, environments. So see if they show some kind of a new technological process, I don't know. So then the casting or molding of a certain metal, then it's like a toy, so you get into a shop, a 3D shop, and then you take this bullet, and then you put it in the machine, and then it's melted, and then something goes out of control, and so then the melting machine works, etc. And the castings, and in EDX it doesn't exist. We have it. So the virtual world, and so then forwarding of links forwarding. Since in EDX they have everything, so they have their own system of payment, a catalog, and EDX. And so they have signing up for courses, your own file, etc. So we had just to take it out, to close down all these references, all these links, and to use to insert our things. So what we want to do, what our system of higher education is, that EDX doesn't need naturally, because in the United States the system is completely different. But we need it. That's why we tinker with EDX on this account. And so because they haven't even taken it to our upstream, so that's why we just disconnected it from EDX, and then we are just forwarding to our external components anything that has to do with our approach, Russian approach to education, different from American. So this competence models, if you know, federal state education standards, 3.5, etc. If you're 3++, 4 coming along. And so we realistically have this methodological development of educational systems of higher education, and our system, our platform, fully conforms to it, and that is why EDX. So we have changed it a lot. So we either disconnect certain components, or just making changes. So there is the system of a grading system in EDX. We completely redone it, just for our own system of grading, so which complies with the teacher's approach, and so trying just to move it to EDX upstream, because it's much more interesting than what EDX had. Yeah, this is what we removed from EDX, and this is what some more detailed version looks like of this architecture. And is the blue. The blue is what we have taken from EDX, and the yellow we've done ourselves, and we have plans to even more reduce the amount of blue and increase the amount of yellow, because the forum discussions, we are not happy the way they're done in EDX. The commercial component is not EDX, it's our own service of mass mailing. Yes, we're using EDX, but when we sell it, we forward it to Russian services. Functionality in EDX is not. I'm not very happy with this function, and we're going just to replace it, increase and enhance and improve. It's quite a difficult architecture, because these are the things that we have, because limitations. So because only 3 months have come by. So because the moment, so we confirmed our statement of work, and until the time when we started to do this pilot, only 4 months passed, and so not much time. This against the limitations. What happens if you don't have time to develop good architecture? That's exactly what you have, if there's not enough time. So nothing horrible. It's not. It's workable. It's up and running. But if for example, if you do the standard interfaces and APIs and specify them well, so you can theoretically extract this system and embed and insert another one. If you have any specific questions concerning architecture, I can talk more about the architecture proper. Now, the ecosystem, where we have enhancement points, so points of growth. So let me go over them quickly. What can be done? What we mean that in the near future, so let's say that's a midterm of 2-3 years. So not every student, but half of the students in Russia should take a certain course within our system and then use it in their own college. So we're going just to increase our presence. So it will be, so the 40,000 students that we have, they should turn into 400,000 students. And so how many students we have in Russia all in all? Some 4 million even. So we need to cover them all. And so we plan to create this new industry, so the new sub-industry, as we say, this online education. And you can hook up to it. And you can make your own catalog. If you don't like the way we do it, there's an API. So students can sign up for the courses differently. Then a personal trajectory. If you don't like the way your program is organized in your college, select from the platform the components and the courses that you want to take. Then connecting to LMS. Almost at all colleges, they have their own systems. And if they take one course or 2 courses from our platform, so naturally, so they want these courses be inside their system. For this, we offer them an API. Then entering the platform through your entry of your college. How to identify your students? So registration ID. Right, through the registration ID of your college. That's how you enter the platform. Just get access to the platform. We connect them through their registration ID that the student has with this college, for example, with a certain college. Like the connection, like to another social network, but it's not your social network, but it's a college that you attend. Then mobile applications. This is all straightforward. Although the smart TV, another subject that stands apart. So why can't we take the courses looking at smart TV? Then another interesting, and so we're open to it. So it's how to take a course. Because when a student goes through a course, so maybe it's a speaker after me will say something else. But in the higher education environment, they don't think about it much. It's a different motivating factors. They don't think about it much. And so gamification, so it's a buzzword, but you can motivate differently. And so we provide interfaces that allow to take analytics. So how students take courses, how I take my course as a student. And on the basis of this analytics, so to provide to get assignments, the tests, and to remind me somehow that for example it's time I enter, that I get access to the system, and it's time just to take this course or that course and get ready for the test, sit for an exam, etc., etc. So we can just develop new APIs if there's a request for that. And then we can do different proposals related to the platform. And when the student will do not in EDX, not within the platform, but within the application that you will develop for this student. So that's most welcome. So for proctoring, I spoke about that already. So we have special API. Then there are new types of assignments in EDX. They're called X blocks. And so here we are connected to EDX. because we have to stay with the platform we have selected. If we make new types of assessments, so X blocks, so we need just to follow the X blocks technology, or we can integrate with the outside services, so HTML Academy services with the outside evaluation, yes, exterior evaluation. So signing up the students for the course, it's on the platform, but then HTML Academy for specific tasks, and it's quite transparent for the students. So, and we're ready to all the courses, all the services, and all the systems that are offered that have certain assignments. We can connect them all. So, certainly, if there is a request from the author of the course. So, for example, I don't like your types of assignments. I want to connect my own service and change the assignments. Okay, no problem. There's an API, different options, and so we're open about that. Then another point that has not been taken care of properly. So no college has gone through it yet, because the courses end in December. No one got a certificate. But once the students start getting certificates, then there will be a new issue concerning electronic portfolios in cloud, and the electronic portfolio. But we will offer our own option for a portfolio, because since we're inter-college association, inter-college platform, we hope that since we are those guys, so we I hope we'll be able to come out with a standard that everyone would want to follow at a later stage, and we have certain developments here. So I spoke about the analytics, and then open data. We want to. So we collect every step of every student, so the student can watch video with the lecturer delivering a lecture. So why should we cut small short videos like only? So we cannot possibly just listen for longer than 10 minutes. This is not possible. He loses. The attention span is very low, and that is why. But everyone is listening for an hour and a half. So why on the internet they cannot sit and listen for an hour and a half? So that the teachers get the impression that the students listen when he sits in his lecture for an hour and a half. This is wrong. So analyzing what happens, so we can say that the attention span of a student. So after your phrase at a certain minute of your video, 50% of the students blocked out completely. They stopped the video, and they went back only in 15 minutes time. That's it. We can say that. So they lost interest. They lost interest, and no one does this. No one does this evaluation, and it's a revelation for a teacher. No one is listening to me. No one cares about what I have to say, and only very experienced teachers, lecturers can actually feel whether they are listened to or not. And so we need to publish this data in order so that to have this field for analysis and to improve the quality of courses. And then, so developing new courses. So we have this XML Open Learning resource. Sometimes they ask for a SCORM. There's no SCORM because there was no request for SCORM. So we have lots of materials in the form of SCORM, lots of materials, but the 8 colleges that provided 46 courses, no one brought SCORM with them. So that's the way the ecosystem looks like. And so this is all orange, so you can come and then visit and start doing it. So we are optimistic. So we hope that we will embed ourselves into the higher education of Russia, and this revolution will be made. And the students will study more online and get more quality information, and better information, and better learning, and inter-college relationship will improve, because sometimes very interesting. So it's also on the basis of networking interaction. And then for the organization of the entire ecosystem, we support a lot of APIs. Now the documentation on APIs only in English now, and now just I'm moving over to. So it's kind of a commercial. So for you right now. So we're open for cooperation. It's not that I say we're the best. We're so cool, a national platform, and we're big guys. So we're going just to preach. No, I'm saying something else. So there is this proposal. So if anyone is interested, please come talk to us, and so come out with your options, help us, whatever you want, you can do anything, so you'll be welcome. What we plan to do before the year end? Before the year end, before the beginning of 2016, to open the source code. So the platform, we need to formally they're actually open already. So, but if you look at GitHub, you'll find them actually, because OpenEDX is open platform, and so we have to open them. And but we want to somehow prepare the open codes, the source codes. Then we need to document APIs. So the APIs I have listed in Russian with all the changes that we made, and so source codes. And so then to organize hackathon, I didn't write it on this. I don't think we'll do it before the year, and maybe in spring. Next spring we'll do that. To do hackathon, we want to do hackathon regarding applications based on open education platform. That in the fall, I think, right before launch, we had hackathon, Yeduton hackathon, and so they didn't develop codes there. They generated ideas at that time, and I just wish it would be done in a better way. And so from hackathon would develop applications that will be useful for the students. Then open data, then X blocks. They're in English, so for teachers might be difficult. It's all in English. And this is why I appeal to you all that what can be done. If anyone is interested, please come to me, or just connect. So write whatever. Yes, please. Questions. Two questions. First question. Yeah, the slide that had a lot of blue. So then developing new courses is blue, right? But I think that so we have our own kit for training. So then the kit for courses, the course kit, let's say it's EDX one now, and our own so no one got in touch with us. So, but maybe just with the agreements. I'm talking about myself. We paid money. We paid you money. So then I've done my work, and so when you paid me, and that's why I was surprised that you are saying that that you didn't mention it. So it's a big story. So we need to go back. We have many people working. So lots of contacts. Many people want to participate. Sometimes this internal communications doesn't go through. Yeah? And I am involved in technology, right? VisiWare. Does it ring any bells? VisiWare. So then that's an agreement with you and the Federal University. Okay, another one is more difficult. I'm a teacher by myself, and I've been teaching for many years, programming and this. So what? How can you possibly? So for example, I read a programming course. So how can you check the students? So you put all these ticks and everything. So how to make sure that the student has gone through? How can you check that the program is correct, that the student has developed? So what's the monitoring control system? That the student has developed the right program and that it's good or not yet? How can you check it? So here we have two answers, depending on what you want to check. If you want, if it's a course on it's a programming course. If it's
then you teach algorithms, data structures, and so on. Then, well, let me show you services and tasks. Well, let me show you this picture. A queue of automatic processing and external evaluation system. A student developed a piece of software, and that piece of software should run in a certain environment, external environment. We cannot put it onto our platform. It should run somewhere else. If the external service where we launch that program, where the program start running, get appropriate, provide you with appropriate results, which meet your expectations, then it works. I'm talking about programming now, about formal evaluation. If we talk about program engineering, this is a bit different. Here, it's very hard to evaluate the work formally, because we don't have any formal criteria for evaluation, and we have to look at the experience of arts like history, economics, how they evaluate their work. Uh, and in those cases, peer reviews are relevant. And there is option 3. So the second option is peer review. If you have a large pool of students, several thousand students, we have several thousand, then you can take 5 or 10 students and give them an assignment to check the work done by another student. That is informal. You give them your criteria and look how the students evaluate that work of that student. If you give it to one evaluator, no. If you give it to 10 evaluators, then you have some statistics. You will eliminate the best evaluations and the worst eliminations, but something which is in the middle will show you the truth, will be very close to what a professor would say. And option 3 is a bit fantastic. We are yet to implement it. I didn't mention it in the presentation, but it's a so-called weak artificial intellect. Instead of the peer review, those informal evaluations of texts or images can be evaluated by a neural network, properly trained and configured. It looks like fantastic, but some edX is thinking about it. For us, it's, well, still the future. 3 options. There was a question right there. Well, yes, please. Thank you for your presentation. I'm not sure my question is about IT, but imagine that a bachelor goes to master's course to a different university. What will happen then? So what I say is not a dogma, it's an opportunity. What about the student? He has some courses under one login and other courses by another login. No, it's like an account in social media. I can have an account in Facebook, in LinkedIn, and I can merge them and evaluate them together. Then if a person listens to your courses and gets a diploma without interacting with any official university, can that be done? It's a legal question. I will try to answer, but I'm an IT person rather than a lawyer. Please take it into account. Now, today, we don't have such an opportunity. We don't have enough courses to issue university-level diplomas. But a moment will come when we shall have enough courses that will match university criteria. Then, perhaps, we could solve that problem somewhere in future. I have 2 questions. What about analytics? Do you use your standard pipelines? Yes, to begin with, yes. We have just started. We didn't have any analytics before. We launched it. We started it. We have all the courses now. We have some statistics now, and now we are going to launch analytics standard. But then, if you offer something else, okay, 40,000 users. How do you count them? And those who registered for the courses, those who registered or those who have done something? Good question. Good question. So it's the difference is 30 to 40. No, it's the number of registered users. My question is from the podium. If you have an agreement with us, then please don't hit me hard. No. I can repeat what the previous speaker said, but well, if you look at me like that, uh, well, please define the border between something that a professor can provide and something that an online lecture can provide. I have recently realized that the students understand me when I speak and then stop talking and look at them. And I see whether they manage to consume the previous thought or not, whether I should repeat it or not. So human interaction and online interaction are two different things. Thank you. Actually, there is an art of theater and an art of TV. We are about TV, we are not about theater. Theater will never die, and we shall never, never replace all professors. But all students must pass your courses. You said, no, 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 that was wrong. I hope that, I said I hope that at least half of the students will pass at least one course there. Not all of the students will pass all of the courses at our system, because if a person physically is far away from the university, a person wouldn't come from Vladivostok to come to Moscow to listen to an interesting lecture. We give him this opportunity. We're not doing anything wrong, and we're not denying anyone. We don't want to push anyone out of the education system. I do not claim that we have to fire all professors in all universities, all must go to online. No, not at all. This is just another opportunity, another choice, another option for a student to go to your professor and listen to him or to watch his lecture online. These are different genres, if you say, different types of interaction. One thing is physical interaction, and the other type is looking at you when looking on a screen, watching you on a screen. The goal is the same, but the tools are different. Our analytical system also could realize, could check students' reactions. We could do that not through a visual contact, but through analytical methods. There are two different approaches. Have you got any more questions? But the time is up, I think. Well, you said you can launch such courses at a university, but from a legal point of view, do we have to sign a contract? Or sorry, it's not. I cannot answer the question. It's a legal question. Honestly, I don't know. I cannot answer your question. Well, you have a lot of questions, but the time is up. The next presentation must start. Thank you, Yury.